Hi there, I'm Rod Bergeron, and thanks for joining me for another quick and easy watercolor painting. Today we're going to use just a very few colors, and we're going to try to make something kind of very atmospheric. I have wet the page from the 2/3 down to 1/3 over here, and we're just going to swoop some Payne's gray across the page like that. And I'm not going to rinse this brush out. I'm going to use it to pick up some blue, and hopefully that blue is going to mix all together with that gray and give us a very atmospheric sky. I'm not going to rinse this brush out again. I'm going to put it right into my Payne's gray paint, and I'm just going to tap it along the edge of the wet. Pardon me, losing my voice a little bit. Just going to tap it along there. I'm going to pick up some more. Wet my brush just a little bit. Pick up some more Payne's gray. A little bit more concentrated like that. And hopefully that's all going to bleed up into the sky for us. Okay, I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to rinse it out. I'm going to pick up some blue here. Now, when I say blue, whatever blue you have, this is a very specific Sennelier blue. Most of my paints that I paint with are Sennelier. Just going to swoop that across there like that. And I'm going to rinse that brush out, and I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of yellow ochre fairly intensely. And I'm going to drop that yellow ochre into a few places along there also. And I'm going to make a little swoop of yellow ochre across there too. Okay? I'm not going to rinse this brush out. I'm going to put it into this burnt sienna right here. And I'm just going to put this across here in a long swoop like that. Okay, so not too much more than that. It has to be a little bit more intense, I think. Something like that. Maybe a little bit in here too. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to put it right into the burnt sienna. And I'm going to tap it in just a few places like that. We're going to let that all bleed to wherever it is it's going to go to. This is my #1 round watercolor brush, and you see I've sharpened one end of it here. And I'm just going to scribe a few lines into this paint here. And we're just going to let that all bleed. That should give us some good indications of perhaps where a tree might be, or at least some undergrowth. I'm going to take this brush again, and I'm going to put some sienna that I had on that brush across like that. Okay, and I'm going to take this same thing. I'm going to scribe some long lines coming out of some of that sienna across there. Okay, that's pretty nice. Okay, so I'm going to fill this whole area all the way across there. I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to use some yellow ochre, and I'm going to try to make one pass and go all the way across. Okay, I got quite a bit of yellow ochre on this brush, and here we go. Just like that. Not too bad. I'm going to pick up a little bit more intense yellow ochre for a couple of places. And we're just going to let this do whatever it is it's going to do. I have here some salt. Actually, I think one more thing I'm going to do. There's not very much darkness in the foreground here. Just going to put a little bit of Payne's gray across a few areas like that. This is a little bag of salt that I have. You can use a salt shaker or whatever. I'm going to put a couple of grains of salt across the front, and just a couple in where those trees are going to be in the background there. And now we need to just let this dry. Just let it completely air dry. Try not to touch it too much. You can see how the page is starting to bubble up there to the point where it's actually pulling the tape away from the board. That's all natural reaction that's supposed to happen here. Okay, so this is, you see where this is pushed up quite a bit. Just let it completely air dry. Don't try to augment it. Don't try to use a hair dryer. If it takes 2 hours to dry, it takes 2 hours to dry. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, let's have a look at this. This turned out super cool. Look at this tree line in the back here. That was all because of that salt. And then look what the salt is done across here. The addition of the Payne's gray and this red, this must have came out of the burnt sienna. But yeah, that's all pretty cool. And the scribe lines worked out really well. Look at all the white space that's left in here. Those are all pretty interesting too. And the black, the burnt sienna, yellow ochre, all worked really well. But look at our sky. Look what happened to the sky. This, just touching it a few times with the Payne's gray and the blue. That's really interesting. Let's see what happens when we put our mat on here. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like it. I'd love to know what you think of it. Let me know in the comment section. And as always, if you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. If you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know where you're from. If you could drop me a line, let me know where you're from. I'd really appreciate that too. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you again next time.